Hey everybody, how's it going? This is another hobby stuff video. I consider bases, especially when you're buying bases from a third party and not using the bases you're supplied with, I consider that a hobby supply. And hobby stuff videos are for hobby supplies, hobby resources, and hobby tools. And what we have here are bases from Secret Weapon Miniatures. And these bases are the round lip bases, hollow blanks is what they're called. And I say round lip because they offer round lip and beveled. Beveled is like the War Machine bases. Round lip is like the 40K bases. I bought a package of 10 25 or 28 millimeter bases and a package of 5 40 millimeter bases. The package of 10 was $10. The package of 5 was $10. So either way, it's $10 each package pretty much. And since I ordered them together, they packaged them in one big bag, which is fine. That's cool. So firstly, price-wise, $10 to me isn't that bad for a third-party thing. For a set of 10, I mean that equates to $1 a base, which is I guess kind of expensive for a base. But basing I think is crucial for your models. And if you look at the realm of resin bases, with stuff casted on them, I say this price is a nice price mark. It's not too high, it's not too low. Not that I complain with low, but I guess from a company standpoint, I think it's fine. Now they suggest washing it and cleaning it before using it, I guess due to the molding process, and it is a resin base. I didn't do anything to the bases, so the quality is pretty good. I would say take a file or a straight edge, like your hobby knife, and just run around some of these bases just to get some of the flash off the sides, but it's very minimalistic. So I guess Secret Weapon bases are pretty nice in that regard. I say I guess because I don't really have them aside from these. Now, why would you get hollow blanks? It may seem like kind of a waste. Well, hollow blanks are, I think, pretty cool. What they allow you to do is really make your base stand out a bit. You get depth that you don't normally get, or you don't get in the same way with a standard base. I have a standard base here. If I wanted more depth to it, I would have to put thick chunks of stuff on it, which increases the overall height of everything, kind of makes it look a little awkward at times. It can be done fine, but also at times it looks a little awkward. So having these hollow blanks, you get a bit of a recess. You can start adding stuff to it and not making the base look that weird. You can also do nice water effects with these bases. You can do swamps, rivers, beach heads, lakes, marsh. You can even do nice mud, like trench mud or just mud effects, and sand effect. You can make it look like the model is rising from the sands, rising from the mud, rising from the water, whatever it is. So like Necron players who want to make them look like they're actually climbing out of the sands or digging themselves out of the sands, you can do that, have the actual full model assembled, and just put their feet, the model's feet, down into the base, or whatever material you're using as filler for the sand, and then you glue the sand over it after you put the model's feet into the base, and it looks a bit more natural that way. With the water effects, you can have stones that they're standing on, or actually trudging through the water, and the submersive feet in the water effect, kind of build it up that way. So you get some play in that regard. I bought these bases for Blood in the Void, from my Blood in the Void army. I plan to do some interesting basing ideas with this. I've seen these before a couple of years ago from some just on a web page. I think somebody actually custom made them using the regular base and just trimming it and whatnot. And I've seen other people custom make them as well, and this is just easier for me. I don't have to worry about cutting stuff up. And you use it for depth. Again, it gives you kind of a depth to the model. And you can also take things and actually lean it against the base of it, kind of like that, without it looking kind of weird and off place by having it sticking way out. Which is fine, I have no problem with that, but some people do. And you can get a sense of the models in the war zone with this depth. Having something like this, very, very flat and plain, works for things like Blood in the Void. It can work for desert. You get some textured sand in there, a couple little bits of rock, and it can work. But when you start building up the rubble, you start building it on top of it in layers, and it makes the base pretty thick. Here you can have a decent amount of rubble, a decent amount of look like you're trudging through something that's collapsed, and without having the base be like an extra centimeter or two high, which some people really gripe about because of true line of sight. I don't really care as long as the model looks cool, but also I think it helps keep a little bit more stability because you don't have a top heavy model. So that's my thought on that. Now, one last thing is you can take this base with the bigger bases and put it inside. Now, why would you do this? Well, you can take your base, depending on the model, if it's supposed to be on a 40mm base, if it fits okay on one of these, you can use that to put the model on and then put like water effects around it, like he's standing on a special stone, or maybe standing on a rock formation that's in the middle of lava, or whatever it may be. You can make interesting looking roadway with having this be one piece of cobblestone and then having stone and a crescent moon shape around it. Whatever you want to do. The choices are yours, pretty much. So, just some things to think about. You can also use these for pretty cool objective markers. One thing I did think of, which will be my last thing to say before wrapping this up, is what you can do with these recessed bases a bit is put an objective flag marker in here or something, and instead of painting up like the middle of the war zone, which is very cool, you can also do a very much kind of like a nav point type of thing, something that comes up in a heads-up display of your Marine's armor or whatever it may be on like on a holo map or something, and you can paint up in green or blue or purple, however you want your holo map to look, and you do kind of like maybe a little blip thing around it, like radar. And in the center, especially if you go with lighting effects, you can make it look like it's a holographic image of a 3D object painted up in opaque colors. So you get the greens, whatever, make it look like it's glowing, emanating around here, around the edges, and then up in the middle is the picture of your objective. Just an idea. I thought it was pretty cool. If I had skill, I'd do it, but I don't. Anyways, that's it for this. Overall, I like what I see with these hollow blank bases. It basically gives you a lot more freedom to create your own base, is what it's there for. And once I actually start using them, I'll show you how the products turn out. So, that's basically it. And until next time, take it easy.